Good morning, and thank you for coming. My name is Jeff Griffin, and I'm the Program Associate with OhioPIRG. I'm joined today by Representative Bob Hagan, Amy Brennick, the Chief Operating Officer of Betty's Family of Restaurants, and Annie Ross-Womack of the Long Street Businessmen Association. And we are here today to release Connecting the Midwest, how a faster passenger rail network could speed travel and boost the economy. As the saying goes, you're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. Rail is part of the solution. It will boost the economy and create jobs. It will modernize our transportation system, and it will help solve our biggest transportation challenge for the future, namely our oil dependence and worsening traffic congestion and pollution. Rail gets us moving in the right direction. In building the 21st century economy, the Ohio and the Midwest as a whole is hampered by our outdated transportation system. Congested airports and cramped highways hinder travel around the region. And as the main source of our oil dependency, our transportation system leaves us vulnerable to spikes in oil prices, which hurt businesses and consumers. Intercity passenger rail in the Midwest can be part of the solution. Not only does our region have a flat topography and well-established historic rail routes, but the Midwestern states have already put forward a bold vision for rapid, efficient transit. This transit can link the entire region. In fact, the federal government has already allocated over $2.7 billion from the American Reinvestment and Recovery Act to bring this vision closer to reality with 6 different projects across the Midwest. This includes the $400 million given to Ohio to establish a 3C rail between Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, stopping in cities in between like Dayton and Springfield. Completing the Midwest regional rail system should be a priority for addressing our region's toughest transportation challenges. And it will also deliver badly needed economic activity. Some of the findings from our report include that Amtrak passengers use 30% less energy per passenger mile than in cars. And specifically in Ohio, the 3C line can save up to 15,000 gallons of fuel every day. Also, out of all the Midwestern states, Ohio has a particularly high potential for rail because our state is the gateway between the Northeast and the Midwest rail networks. If by 2025, Cleveland is connected by high-speed rail to cities such as Toronto, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo, the lines running to and from Cleveland could support 3.2 million riders every year. Furthermore, along with the line from Cleveland to Cincinnati, these lines will create 16,000 permanent jobs and generate more than $3 billion worth of economic development around the rail stations. Critics are ignoring the cost of inaction and the full range of benefits that rail can bring to Ohio and the Midwest. Rail is right for Ohio. The region has taken the first steps towards moving towards economic opportunities provided by rail, but our political leaders need to show the commitment that it will take to finish the job. Thank you. And now I would like to present Amy Brennick from the Betty's Family of Restaurants.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Amy Brennick. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for Betty's Family of Restaurants, which is a local independent restaurant group in Columbus. We have 4 member restaurants in the downtown and short north business areas. We employ about 125 people full-time and part-time. The well-being of our employees is important to us. We offer health insurance to full-time employees. We offer an employee assistance program to all employees, down to the door guy who works for us 1 shift a week. Our community is important to us, our customers and our environment. We have owners and managers who are on boards of small business groups, local nonprofits, and community organizations. We also offer 8 hours of paid leave for volunteer work for all of our employees. And in 2009, we received an Emerald Award from the Solid Waste Authority of Central Ohio for our innovative sustainability efforts. And by the end of 2011, we are trying to go zero waste. So we are a responsible group of small businesses invested and active in Central Ohio, and we support the 3C Quick Start Passenger Rail Program. The 3C Quick Start would increase economic development to the downtown Columbus area and surrounding visitor areas by bringing friends and family of local citizens and, travelers to our city to visit all of our attractions, our retail shops, and our restaurants, hopefully, which is a huge importance to us. And the more restaurants, the more people we bring to the city, the more restaurants we can open, and the more people we can employ. It also promotes statewide tourism with more affordable and accessible transit options for the growing number of carless people we have in the state. This includes students, downtown dwellers, the elderly and disabled populations, people on fixed incomes, and those who are carless for environmentally conscious reasons. This is important to our restaurant group because the majority of our patrons and our employees are students and young professionals. We often hear that they love living in Central Ohio, but prefer to live in a region that has better transit options. In fact, last fall, Columbus Dispatch cited that survey that said that 51% of Central Ohio college students plan to leave the state after graduation, and 79% of non-Ohioan college students plan to leave. When our employees give us 2 weeks notice because they're moving to Atlanta or Portland, unfortunately the conversations are far less about what those states have to offer them and far more about what Ohio is lacking. Mass transportation and rail systems always come up. I was looking at the White House, they have that fact sheet about the 3C corridor, and they actually mentioned that Columbus, Cleveland, Dayton, and Cincinnati are among the largest metropolitan areas in the United States not served by passenger rail. There's simply no other project that will create thousands of jobs, re-energize the customer base of hundreds of small businesses, and benefit the environment the way that the 3C Quick Start can. And it has $400 million federal dollars already committed to its funding, so Ohio needs this. My son's 19. He graduated from Columbus City Schools. He just started a recycling pickup company for local small businesses, and we just got back from visiting family in Boston. All the family was really adamant that he should come live there, it's so great, and they just went through the list of how the East Coast is so great. And I just thought, here's this bright kid, and he and his buddies are so bright, and we've got to stop losing these bright people to places that seem to have more to offer. So we can't stop improving Ohio, and this is a really great way to do it. It's a good plan, so please support it. Thank you.
Andy Ross-Womack from the Long Street Businessmen Association.
Oh, sorry.
Good morning. As stated before, I'm Andy Ross-Womack, CEO of the Long Street Businessmen's Association, the first ever woman CEO. They asked me to come to talk to you about a woman's perspective, a businesswoman's perspective, as an Ohio businesswoman, on why I feel better rail transit is important for Columbus and Ohio. It's simple. A modern transit system that includes passenger rail services enhance the quality of life for those in its proximity, revitalizes our cities, and boosts the economic development and growth potential of our region. Not to mention, traveling by train is greener. Trains take far less fuel to power, making them very eco-friendly, a very eco-friendly way to travel, and they help to reduce our impact on the planet by reducing CO2 emissions. It is also relaxing, safer, scenic, and economic. In this fast-paced, techno-savvy society where everyone has a cell phone, PDA, and a notebook attached to their ear, hand, and hip, it becomes difficult to travel by air, bus, or car. Traveling by these other modes, sometimes there's a trade-off of speed versus productivity. I know when traveling throughout Central Ohio, normally I'm the driver. With the new restrictions on cell phone usage to just talking, without texting, emailing, or web surfing, I sometimes arrive to my destination 10 or 20 minutes prior to the meeting, very stressed because of the 10 to 20 minutes of unforeseen traffic delays, rude and unpredictable drivers, and I'm often fatigued by the hours sitting and scanning the car radio and trying to finish that coffee that I started at 6:30, trying to get a jump on the morning rush. I often daydream of how wonderful it would be if I could board a train, stretch out, plug in my notebook, go over my presentation, update my documents, and get that last-minute email prior to the meeting while still having enough time to put on my headphones, unwind, read, converse with fellow travelers, or just kick back and enjoy the scenery that is often missed when commuting on the freeways or flying overhead. With the rising cost of fuel and traditional travel, many small businesses like ours have eliminated travel from their budgets. It has become increasingly difficult to estimate and balance travel versus other costs associated with running a small business. In many cases, train travel is cheaper than air travel. For those traveling on a budget, like myself, taking the train could be a huge money saver. Economics 101, the more money you save, the more you have to spend on fine food like Betty's. In-state travel between Columbus and Cleveland, for those of you who have mistakenly done that, is about $200 to $300 if you catch a good ticket. Depending on how far in advance you book, making last-minute travel plans by airplane can sometimes cost 3 times as much or more. In contrast, train tickets do not change much from week to week or day to day. The rates for trains are set and do not rise as the date approaches for travel, and then they don't have booking fees normally. Ohioans are demanding safer, greener, and economical travel choices, and this 3C Ohio plan would build a foundation for economic competitiveness in some of our state's most economically distressed cities. These urban cores representing Ohio's center of commerce, education, and research, all of which can be better connected to a ready and mobile workforce with passenger rail. It is no wonder train travel is making a comeback in the United States with its mass appeal and with both gas prices and the economy showing little sign of improving at any time soon. Traveling by train will likely continue to gain its popularity. We need to catch up with the cities and regions that kept rail because they didn't have the luxury or mistake assuming they had when they cut out our rails in the 50s and 60s in the name of progress and economic development.